Hello everyone, welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. What an absolute glorious day it's been today. The ginger in me has killed me. My arms are like those sweets that you used to buy. I am burnt to a crisp. Really excited to be doing this show tonight. I've got Mike, the Brighton fan. Ian will be on later, and we've also got special guest Mandy from Stanley Deaf Club who's going to come on and tell us why the money is amazing and and say a thank you, I guess. But it's really great to have her on to do that. Ian's just popped in. Quick 5 minutes here. I'll quickly do the usual stuff. There's a link if you want to become a member tonight. It's 99p all the way up to $4.99. You choose what you want to pay. Super chat, bottom right-hand corner. Please be respectful, all that sort of stuff. The reason why you should become a member is because we give away prizes. We've got a $40 gift card to be given away. We have dropped down some members recently, which is a bit of a shame, but it basically means that we won't be giving out this as much as often. The $40 gift card will be every month, but the money from football prizes will go into the running of the channel for a little bit. But we will still be giving away amazing prizes as well. I can promise you that. But this is an amazing one. A double-signed shirt, a Trippier Shaw framed in the same frame. Never seen that ever before. 2 shirts signed together, $3.95 for tickets. Link is in the description for both of them, so please consider buying some tickets. Right, let's bring the co-host in first. Hello, Ian.
Evening, mate. How are you doing?
I made it. You were virtually on time.
I know. I was pushing it, but I rallied a few things together and I got here.
Good lad. Well, the ginger in me has been caught today. I am burnt to a crisp, pushing the pram.
God, you're like a crap stick.
I know, it's terrible. Right, let's bring Mike in. Mike, so glad to have you.
Baz, I never thought I'd see you wearing red and white sleeves.
Oh, terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. It's just one of those things being ginger, isn't it?
That'll be you done for the summer.
You what, Paul?
Is that it? You now jumped us all the way through the summer?
No, it's factor 50 all the way through the summer now. Mandy's laughing in the background. Let's bring Mandy in. Good evening, Mandy. How are you doing?
Hi.
Stop laughing, you. I'm very good. Yes, it's that time of year again. It's the first time we get 21-degree weather, and what happens? I get burnt. It's just typical. We'll quickly jump into the chat, and then we'll come on to you, Mandy, because I know you just want to do your little bit. You can stay for as long as you want, though, of course. Hey, Chairs was waiting for you to do that. Yeah. Evening, everyone. Gary's in the house. Let me know.
I don't know if I can give any input about football, though.
Are you not a fan? Is it not your thing, or is football not your thing?
Oh yeah, I'm a fan, but I just like to watch it, cheer, be loud, and Kieran tells us all about this when we get to school on the Monday.
It's pretty much what we do. Kieran is good. Living the dream, smashing Deaf Awareness Week. Yes, it's Deaf Awareness Week, which is why we're pleased to have Mandy on as well. Kit and Nick, Mandy from Sue, Bazzy and Mike and Mandy. Hi, Mandy. I just got to get through all as quick as we can. Hi, is there one thing I've learned since Piff came in is trust their decision-making process. Well said, David. Even all from Alan and even Mike. Right, we're up to date at last. Right, so as we all know, the Spurs game, RNID, Seller and Newcastle teamed up together. They got these amazing shirts done for deaf people that vibrated whenever the certain parts of the ground or all the shirts started vibrating when the noise got loud, to basically unlock the noise for the deaf people to be able to enjoy the match a little bit more, I guess. From your experience, Mandy, you work obviously in the deaf community. You run Stanley Deaf Club. What was it like for those kids when they were talking to you about what they experienced at the match? Is there a bit of a delay? Can you hear me all right, Mandy?
I don't know whether it's my computer.
Delay. I'm just saying, what was it like for you running the Deaf Club? Can you hearing the kids come to you and telling you all about the match and what it was like wearing the shirt and everything that the Newcastle did for the deaf community? I think she's having a bit of a mare. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can now, but you keep going. I don't know if it's my end.
It could be either, to be honest with you.
What about the shirt?
The shirts, what was it like for the kids? Are the kids coming up to you and talking about it? What was it like for the experience?
Absolutely amazing. The faces and the things that, like, the noises they were making as well, saying like it was here, it was here, it was here. Oh, it was just amazing. And then to sit with them and like talk to them about it, saying and when Kieran explained it, where the back was more quiet because the Tottenham fans weren't shouting and the away fans weren't shouting as much, that because I didn't realise that it was different parts until the children had said. It was great, amazing. I just hope that every time I go, they'll be able to experience that every match. But I think that's what the plan is. Fingers crossed. So
yeah, I think it is. But they said that they've still got some work to do, don't they? They've got to tweak a few things before they can make it available. Yeah,
because my understanding is they've took all of the things down in the stadium because they've got more plans for it. So it'll be amazing. Absolutely. It's just the little faces, isn't it? Get them involved. I know when deaf fans go, they feel the vibration and and they see the crowd, but to actually feel it on their bodies rather than through the feet, that must be just amazing for them. So,
there's only so many sensors in your feet, isn't there? And to have it all over your, sensitive parts of your body as well. It must have been amazing. Mike, I don't know if you're aware of this or you saw it, but at the Spurs game, they had special made shirts for the deaf community to wear. And every time a certain parts of the ground got noisier, the shirt was vibrating on that side of it.
That's amazing.
Very clever.
I did see it on socials, so yeah, it's amazing.
And obviously, we saw the picture with Kieran. I reached out to the community to find out who he was, who the mother was, and then we ended up speaking to the mother. And it's been absolutely amazing. And we forced her to set up a Just Giving page. She was like, "Should I do it?" I'm like, "You are doing it. You've got to strike while the iron's hot." And then we decided as a channel to give you as much profit as all the profit from last month, which we did. So you received the £214 into your bank account a couple of days ago. 6. What's the date today? 3 days ago.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. And Sue is sorting out the £610, which has been raised. So in total, that's £828. And I think you lose 24 quid from Just Giving because they take a little percentage off. But we've raised over £800 for your club. So can you tell us what that's going to do for the rest of the year, really, for any activities? What's it going to be put to? Because I have heard that you literally raise the money through parents and tickets and raffle tickets and all this sort of stuff. So it must be nice to get a chunk for nothing.
So the Deaf Club was started back in 2004. So I was asked, my dad the Deaf Club in Durham, which is near Stanley. So, and the one in Stanley was closing. So I was asked if I would help out just for a short time. And I thought, so that was in 2004. And I thought, I'll do it for a few months. And then now it's 2024 and I'm still there. So because it's just
20 years on.
I know, the colour of my hair. But it's just because it's got bigger and bigger. So, there is deaf clubs out there and they're all very vital to the deaf community. But when I started this one, I thought, I grew up in the deaf community with my parents being deaf. And it's very, bingos and that. And the kids, when the bingo's on, the kids have to sit down. And I didn't want that. I wanted them to come, enjoy, be with everybody else. But it's also, we accept deaf people with learning difficulties, additional needs. And there's not one like mine out there. So I think that's why it's getting bigger and bigger. There's people come from as far as, I don't know if you know Stanley, we're just a little place. They come from as far as North Shields, Whitley Bay, Cramlington. Really? So it is very vital. So that money you have raised and what Kieran's raised is just going to be huge. So we have to pay for the room. I will have it every fortnight. So we'll pay for the room. So that'll help. We do trips we do parties. So the big annual trip is Blackpool. I know some people will go, oh, Blackpool, but it's for everyone. It's for the adults, it's for the kids. And so Deaf Club will fund the coach, but the parents have like pay for the rooms and things and money, you know, to help the parents out. So yeah, and buffets for the parties, gifts from Santa at Christmas, Easter eggs at Easter, things like that. So it all helps. Every penny helps.
Amazing. Well, we thank you for your hard work, because obviously, you know, 20 years doing that and keeping it running from potentially going out of business to keeping it going. You've done an amazing job, and you should be very proud of yourself. And we're very proud as a channel to be able to help as much as we could. So, like I say, it all touched us, didn't it, that in that moment when we saw that picture and we heard about it. And we're just proud of our football club as well for getting involved, aren't we?
Yeah. Like I've said numerous of times now, Baz, that it was just a special day. And I'm just so proud that it was our club that done it. And to be such a success as well at the end of it, that's the most important thing. The good field, you know, and to be a success, and to reach out to not just to the lads and lasses that were there, it's reached out to so many more people as well, that these things can be done, to make these kids' experience at a football match just took them to the next level. And Mandy, I know Stanley very well. I'm originally from Concert, so what I would like to say to you is the work that you do for these kids. I just think you're a special breed, and honestly, for 20 years where you've just done it, I just think you're remarkable. Every single one of you, and you want to be so proud of what you do. It's brilliant.
100%. Well said.
I will pass that on to everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably not just you running the club as well. There's probably other people there volunteering and doing their time, probably the parents helping out as well. You know, it just shows you what a community can do, doesn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike,
know,
is there anything down in Brighton that do? Oh, sorry, Mandy.
I was just going to say, and everybody that come every fortnight and they're supported by buying the raffle tickets. So yes, I might be the backbone of it, begging councillors to give us grants and things. But it is the people who attend it that keep it going. And without them, it wouldn't be there. So yeah, we've got to thank everybody involved.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Mike, is there anything like this that you know aware of in Brighton and around Brighton Football Club? Do they get involved? Because I know you're a very family-run football club as well, aren't you?
I mean, we do a lot of stuff in the community, like Albion in the community. They just, because it's Deaf Awareness Week, they just brought out a scarf with BHA in sign language, British Sign Language on it. So that's pretty good. But yeah, it's something close to my heart because my second son, he's moderately deaf. Without his hearing aids, he's severely deaf, but with his hearing aids, he's moderately deaf. So yeah, it's something close to my heart. That
I hope that Brighton can bring the shirts out then potentially.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing thing. I did see it, and it's amazing.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Man, is there anything you want to particularly say to the footballing community as well? You know, obviously through Black and White Eyes, there's people watching, people will watch it back. Is there anything you want to say to them? And
just
on the back of this, I mean, how can we give you more money as well? How can people do that? Is it possible?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm very, you know, I never go out there and, you know, if anybody wants to help, I'm sure they could get the details through yourself or, you know, contact me. We're based at Stanley Indoor Bowl Centre. If anybody wants to contact us, if there's any fundraising they would like to do, I mean, we appreciate it. I'm open for it. I'm sure if I can give Sue, Sue can give you my number and you can pass it on to anybody who would like to support us. They can pop along, or even if there's anybody out there watching and interested in learning to sign, we're a very welcome group. They can come along and get involved with us, see if there's anything we can do to help them learn to sign. I mean, I also, alongside there, I work, support Kieran at school. We work at the Percy Headley Foundation. And we've actually had the Newcastle Foundation in today, and we've just done this big thing on deaf awareness. And the kids are there getting them all. There was 14 of them came along. So a big thank you to them. And they've got them out. They were signing, teaching them how to sign. They were teaching them how to sign. The foundation, Newcastle United Foundation, got up, and it was good. It was good. So
Brilliant.
I'm a big thing for anybody to learn to sign. It helps the kids, it helps the deaf community, and it helps them be a bit more inclusive.
I love it. Me and Yin just started chuckling to ourselves because Sue's put that up there. I want to do a charity match in the summer, kids versus adults, if anyone would like to be involved. Now, me and Yin played in 2 separate charity matches recently, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks.
So you might be a no then.
Well, I mean, I suppose if it's against the kids, I might have a fighting chance of being able to score a few goals, to be fair. But
no, you won't.
I didn't chuck my boots away. I was up my caravan, and I put my boots in the back of the car, and I put the Bairns wellies in there as well. And we were sorting stuff out the back of the car, the caravan, and the wife says, "What are you doing with these?" And I went, "Just keep them. You never ever know." I mean, this could be I never ever know, and it's one of these ones that when you see it in front of you again, thinking you go, God, it petrifies the life. Do you know, as much as you want to go and do it, it's the week after where you think, Christ Almighty, my body was in bits for about a week.
I literally had to go next door to my neighbour, who's a physiotherapist, and get an hour massage on my legs because it was that bad, the pain I was in. I was just like, yeah, mate, you need to fix my legs because these are hurting. But we got there in the end.
See what we're going to do.
Yeah, but Sue, I'm sure. I think we'll do something. We can get involved in some way. We might be able to record the whole thing and put it out live or something like that. That would be quite interesting. Last question for you, Mandy.
2 seconds, mate, because if it's getting recorded, you'll cop out because you'll do the watch along, and I'm not having that. Because if I'm playing, you're playing.
I'm the commentator though. Who's that old fart I'd left back? Oh yeah, it's Ian.
No, that's me. Yeah, that's
me. I love it. So last question for you, Mandy. Since this has all happened, have you had an influx of new members or people wanting to get involved, or does it put you on the map a little bit, or?
It has actually. I'll tell you what, we've got a few Mackhams that attend the club. They're getting a bit more friendly. But no, yes, it's talked about even like shopping in Asda. You know, really? Like because Sandy's in Kerry, it's just a little place, and everybody knows it. So obviously, it's gone all out on social media, and you know, so yeah, and a few people are getting a few like people have said, "Oh, I don't do it on socials, but stick that into the deaf club funds and things like that." So yeah.
I'm getting pelters here. I would pay good money to watch Baz run around a pitch and making a tit of himself. Have you know I scored and assisted in my last appearance in a football game? Thank you very much. But Yin can play football. This is the problem. Well, Mandy, I mean, do you want to stay on, or have you got things to do? Because you're more than happy to join in the football chat as well if you want to.
I've got a couple of things to do, but thank you very much for having us.
There's the cop out.
Thank you all again so much, because it's really appreciated. It's, you know, it is really, really appreciated, and the kids love it. And so this will go on. I'll play it at like school tomorrow, and I'll show the kids, and I'll sign, and you know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's really appreciated. Thank you.
I love
you.
And
I hope you've learned the same fans properly.
I'm not even attempting that one anymore.
I watched that one. I was like,
I'm not attempting that again.
It's closed hands, not open.
Well, they were closed. I just had them the wrong way. I had them that way, not that way, and obviously I got pelters for that as well, didn't I? But no, Mandy, honestly, it's thank you to you, and thank you to all the kids who, you know, really made the awareness even more at the game, because if we hadn't have seen the pictures and we hadn't have seen the videos and the way that it was done, we still wouldn't really know about it. So it's amazing that it's finally got aired, and hopefully there'll be more stuff from the back of this. And like I say, keep in touch. Let us know what the kids are up to with, and how we've helped, and we'll carry on helping through the year as much as we can.
I'll send some. I mean, the trip's not till October, like
Christmas,
November.
Yeah.
The trip to Blackpool 1st November, but I can send some photos on and show
Awesome.
you. But just before I go, talk about, they've just released, I don't know if you've managed to see it yet, not long ago, Newcastle United released the final all rundown of the whole thing for the end of Deaf Awareness.
I've not seen it yet.
It's just been released on socials.
Right.
It gives me goosebumps. It's the whole thing they've pulled together from start to finish. So and I
we will definitely be watching that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
No, thank you for coming on, Mandy. Speak to you soon.
I'm laughing at Sue. She's not going to let it drop mine.
She's not. We know what she's like. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye. I love it. Oh, bless her. It's great, isn't it, Ian, that we've been able to do that. And like I say, we are very lucky that our football club chose it. We then got involved and we've done that. So it's a good way to start the year, isn't it?
That's brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
She spammed it on her socials already. She is not going to let this go now. It's like a dog with a bone when it comes to something like this now. It's going to be like right buzzing you in a plane. Oh, God. So if you really want to do a charity match, we'll get involved. If you want me to get other people with high profiles who I think will play, drop me a message on WhatsApp and we'll sort it out. Most of them are shit at football, but they've got big accounts, so I'll get them involved for you.
I'll probably be able to get a couple of players that will play played for ex clubs, and a couple of my friends played at pro clubs will probably come along and do that as well. So
get it in. That's what I like to hear. Right, let's talk about some football. First of all, our owners are all in town. Every single one of them, the chairman, a lot of them. There's hopefully going to be some big plans. Obviously, with this being the last home game of the season, it could just be it's the last home game of the season, and they're rocking up to do the lap of honour and getting involved in that. But
they're only here to watch the Brighton, you know that.
They only roll into town when you roll up here, so there you go. I mean, they can probably travel faster from Saudi Arabia to Newcastle than you guys can from Brighton to Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely.
They probably got time travel sorted and haven't told anyone. But yeah, there's going to be stuff coming out, isn't there, from this? It's got to happen. They've got to have all the meetings, transfer speculation, director of football, which we'll talk about soon. But it's good news, isn't it, that their owners are here?
Me personally, I don't think it'll be anything to do with transfers just yet. I really don't. I just think it's the respect of the way we operate now. And because obviously the owners aren't here on a daily basis, I just think it's the respect that they're shown Eddie Howe and his players and all the families that obviously are involved in Newcastle that they just come to say thank you for another tremendous season. In my opinion, I think the business side of it will take place obviously after the final game of the season. I really do. I think it will do. Do
you not think they'll start talking about a plan A? This is what we're going to do if we get into Europe. Plan B if we don't get into Europe. That sort of thing. Do
you not think they've already done that, mate, by email? Of course they will. They'll do it through the board. They'll do it through the board meetings, and they'll do Zoom meetings where, because he's involved. You've seen the documentary last year where when he's not there, he's still there because they'll have these Zoom meetings. And yes, I know they do go up to Anik and have like a when everybody gets together. But I think this one's just more because the last game of the season. Everybody's going to be there.
Go and pop my bubble.
Hopefully we sign off with a win. And it showed the end of last season and the season before what it means to the owners, because they're all on the pitch. They were kicking footballs about and everything, So I just think it's a bit of that, and I think the business side of it will take care of it after some of the players are away on holiday. I think that's just my opinion. That though.
Sue's messaging us. Oh man, she already had the idea about a charity football match, and now it's going to happen. So we are stuck with a charity football match in. It's as simple as that. Right. Next little topic. Sorry, Mike, this is a little bit all Newcastle at the moment, but we will come to you, I promise. Mr. Isak is up for Premier League Young Player of the Season. When does a young player stop being young, Mike? I mean, Isak's 22.
Yeah.
I thought it was 21 and under for the Young Player of the Year award.
There must be a 23 benchmark then, or 20. Mate, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It's like they just want to fit him in because they don't think he's going to be Player of the Season. You know, like Kevin De Bruyne, you know.
Yeah,
and all
De Bruyne will that, won't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So they've thrown Isak into the Young Player of the Year award, and this is the reason why. I mean, this is. We love this account, don't we, Mike? And I don't know if you know it very well or not, but the other 14, they just concentrate on the other 14 clubs and show how good the players actually are, because Sky never talk about them. I've had to defend this account so many frigging times. It does my head in. But Isak is up there, 55% shot accuracy, which is amazing from 70 shots. Bearing in mind, that's the third most highest shots in that whole list out of everyone that's in there, and he's got 55% shot accuracy. Now the Palace lad is obviously starting to come into his own, but there's no way he's keeping that up at 59%. He's just hit a purple patch, hasn't he? And the other one that he's in as well is most dribble success rate. You know, for a striker to have a dribble success rate that high and the amount of attempts just shows you how good he is on the ball, as well as putting the ball in the back of the net. The one thing I'm a bit surprised to see is no Brighton player in that one, and you've got one player in this one. Now, normally, Mike, when we come to talk to you, Brighton are normally very, very good, but
they're all injured, Baz.
Yeah, they're all injured.
Like Matoma is injured. He'd be on there. Fatty hasn't played for about 6 years. It's I think that side of our game has been hampered this season.
I can never mind jogging 5 miles. I can jog 5 minutes if I'm fucking lucky.
I'm so glad I'm in Brighton.
You'll be playing as well. I won't force you to.
I wouldn't.
I love it. But the one thing again, Ian, from this is progress, isn't it?
Well, that man is. Do you know what it is? He's been injured. He's been injured for a lot of this season. So I don't understand how he's not up for Player of the Season. Me, none of my young player. I think player, because Kevin De Bruyne has been out for a long time as well. And he obviously, you know what I mean. And I just think he's exceptional, and I think he's getting better and better. And you're on about the dribbling and stuff that we've spoke about on shows before, Baz. He's close feet when he runs with that ball. His touches are so they can't take it off him, you know. And then when he comes in deep and turns, he's that turn of pace when he's got it, and he touches it forward. He's fantastic, like, and he's shooting. He doesn't put his laces through the ball. No. It just side foots everything, and evidence with accuracy, like you said there, right? And then it's always in it, like even though he's side foots, he generates so much power from that. I just, like I've said before, I just think we're so lucky to have such a player like him. I think he's world class.
It's probably, you're probably right. Actually, it's probably Foden is the one that he's up against rather than De Bruyne. Foden got the Writers Award a few weeks ago, and he's had a phenomenal season as well. So that's probably who he's up against rather than De Bruyne. But De Bruyne might get it because he's coming to the end of that career.
Probably. I mean, they do that sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
But I mean, Isak's played 27 times this season in the Premier League, so he's missed 8 games. Could have had more goals, couldn't he?
Do you know what it is? Isak missed games where there was a clump of games where they were in quick succession where we could have needed him. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Not like when we're playing like now, where we have to have a break where you're playing Saturday. We had midweekers coming through, and were kind of scraped, and it was always Isak going out and Wilson coming in and vice versa around that horrible Christmas period. And I honestly, if he had a solid full season, he'd be top goal scorer. I really, really do. He's that good.
Just checked. He's in both categories. How can he be in both? You're either in one or the other. I don't get that. It seems a bit strange.
If he's in both, if he's in, well, I think, like you said, there's a limit on the age. I think he should be in the other one for player of the season. Not the young one. I think he should be in there for the player of the year.
Definitely. And the other player who's missed out we have is Anthony Gordon. And now again, he's turned 22, 23. So should he even be in the young player of it, or even considered for it? Should he be considered for player of the season? But he's been phenomenal for us.
Yeah.
And not even a mention or Gordon missed out. Really surprised he missed out. No one's really speaking about it. They're just kind of brushing it over.
Don't know how.
I don't get it.
I don't know how. I really don't. Every pundit now is speaking about them. Every papers are speaking about them, and now it's getting to the point where it's coming to the England squad. They all want him in there because he's been that good, and rightly so. Another top player performance from Anthony Gordon this season, and I think he's just been another remarkable player for Newcastle United.
Mike, what's your thoughts on Gordon for England?
Yeah, I think he's. I'll be surprised if he don't go. Can't see he's increased squad as well, but he deserves to be in the original, 22 man or whatever it was originally. It's 26 now, isn't it? But yeah, he definitely should go. He's in form.
I absolutely agree. It's crazy.
So the thing on that side, that's obviously England. It's only for me. It's only between Grealish and Gordon that starts there. Saka will always play on the other side.
Yeah.
Kane.
Foden plays in the middle 10 rather than the left.
And the completely different. Don't get us wrong. Grealish is a world class player. I think he's fantastic. But there's totally different dimensions in the games where Gordon's he's a bit like Saka, he's so direct. He goes beyond full-backs, creates stuff. When Grealish, he'll get you good free kicks in good areas. He'll keep a hold of the ball of it and make it nice and tidy. So he's got to go. And for me, the form he's in, if he carries on at the end of the season, for me, he's got to start for England.
He's got to be close, hasn't he? He has to be.
I'm not being biased there.
No, man.
Yeah, I'm not being biased there. I'm trying to think of England going forward as an attacking threat. Because I watched the semi-final last night, and Kane, I just felt he felt a little bit wanting. So it was, where do you get the other threat from? And I mean, Vinicius Junior last night was absolutely exceptional, going down that side. Kimmich couldn't handle him. Now, if you've got Saka on form, and then you've got another winger that's constantly going at you, what I'm trying to say is if you've got one side and then you've got Grealish slowing things down and coming inside, but if you've got two of them going at you, at least you're going to have that threat from both sides, rather than just dependent on your forward of Kane scoring goals. So for me, I think Gordon's got to start.
Yeah. I don't agree with this, Tristan, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's the Premier League Player of the Year, not all competitions Player of the Year. Yeah. So the other goals that they score in other competitions don't count towards the season. It's what they do in the Premier League and Premier League only. So, but again, sometimes people's mind go to those kind of stats, don't they? Even though they shouldn't, because it is literally just Premier League only. Mike, you must be getting sick of this. Chelsea confirm exclusive story as Sam Jewell has begun work as new director of global recruitment. He leaves Brighton for Chelsea. They might as well just start calling Chelsea Brighton.
Yes, on every time something like this happens, a lot of us supporters just support Brighton. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's like they've got no faults of their own. It's just, in a way, it's a compliment to the way we're run and the recruitment. So there is that side of it, but it's really frustrating that it's just coming from one club. And I saw today in the news they're linked with Evan Ferguson as well. It's like, it's just ridiculous, you know. I mean, the Potter thing was just absolutely crazy, the amount of people he took with him. But yeah, I mean, like I say, in a way, it's a compliment that they've come and they've taken our recruitment, but they're a little bit sort of deluded onto what. Don't get me. Sam Jewell is like excellent at what he does. He's brilliant. He speaks Spanish, so he can talk to South American teams. He went out to South America, but he worked on the data that our club gave him. So our club identifies players, and then he would go and get those players, or his team would. So he's a big coup for Chelsea. He's a great person and a great addition to their club, but it's a bit maddening that it's just coming from one club. You know, it's just it's like relentless. You know, it's almost like, and someone said it's almost like when you, as a club, when you've got something good and you're building something good, then the top six come in and just rip it apart, you know, and that's how it feels sometimes.
Oh, there's one for Mike. What happened to the people that Potter took with him to Chelsea when he got sacked? Are they still there, or is some of them still there and some of them gone?
Some of them are there. Winstanley's still the head of recruitment. Obviously, Sam Jewell's going. I think Ben Roberts is still there. He's a goalkeeping coach. He's a very good goalkeeping coach. Right. But I think the rest all went. I think Bruno was there for a while and then went later on. But yeah, it's I think he took. So Graham Potter had 3 people, Billy Reid and Bjorn, that he took with him anyway, and he brought them to Brighton, so he took them with him. But then he took the goalkeeping coach, Paul Winstanley went, and you know, it's and then our head of data analysis went. So I think he's still there, and Paul Winstanley. I think they're and Roberts, who's the goalkeeping coach. I think they're the only ones that are left now.
I mean, obviously, when Potter went, Mike, I just think the new manager now. I think he's a great manager, mate. I think he's very, very technically good. And when he gets things right, you are a top team. It's just unfortunate that you've had injuries to key players that hasn't made you tick in the way that he wants them to go. And I think he's frustrated at that as well. And you know what it is? I think he's a top manager, mate.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You could see it in his body language the last few weeks. He's like been not as sort of exuberant as he had been in the past, where he's up on the dugout and throwing things and wrecking chairs, and he hasn't been like that for a few weeks now. But against Villa, he's back to that sort of flamboyant Italian De Zerbi, you know, which is what we want to see. But absolutely, Graham Potter laid a fabulous foundation at Brighton. It was a platform that De Zerbi's, and I've got to be honest, I hadn't really heard much about De Zerbi before he came to our club. I was aware of the teams that he'd managed, but not too sort of familiar with the history of those clubs. But he's been a revelation, absolutely. And this season, it's just been, as you've had as well, it's just been hampered by injuries. It's just and all seem to be in similar positions, which I guess may be a symptom of the football that he plays. Incidentally, they just hired a guy, I think he's come from Frankfurt, and he's like one of the top muscle specialists in football. So obviously that's been a problem, and most of the players have been going out with muscle injuries. So there's like a forward thinking in that. But absolutely, I agree with you. In De Zerbi is like a great manager, top manager, and had he got the resources at his disposal, we would be up where we were last season. And incidentally, there was quite a good article, I think is either in Inside Football or 90 Minutes, about managers being tainted when they fail in the Premier League, and it's a fact. And the classic was Ten Hag. Ten Hag had built this dynasty at Ajax, and Man United had a choice about Ten Hag, and Pochettino. But because Pochettino had been tainted by what had gone on in the Premier League, they went for Ten Hag, who was kind of unsoiled. So it's a very interesting article on that. Same with Gerrard, went to Villa, got tainted, didn't get the jobs. If he had stayed at Rangers, he'd probably been linked with the Liverpool job. So yeah, it was very interesting take on what goes on. But yeah, getting back to what you're saying, it's De Zerbi's a great coach, and people shouldn't read too much into what's happening at us at the moment.
Well, again, a lot of injuries. I mean, it's very hard to manage the amount of injuries you've got.
Yeah.
You're almost as bad as what we were.
Yeah.
We were a little bit worse. Just a little bit worse. The other news for us is apparently Dougie Freedman has accepted the role as director of football, and he will be in place by the end of after the season's finished. This is what I mean about the owners being in town and things are starting to move a little bit. It hasn't been fully confirmed yet, but a lot of noise coming out from certain accounts saying that it's done. I was speaking to a Palace fan today, and this is what he said about him. He sells the vision, generally cares about culture and players' character. You're going to love every player he brings into the squad, whether he makes it in the top or not, but plenty of them will rise to the top. Just hope he's hands off Palace players as a nice gesture. So, yeah, we've got the right man if it is 100% done and dusted.
Yeah. If he's come in, if that's the case, we spoke about Elise. I'll be over the moon if we get Elise. If he's our top signing, because obviously we're links with a couple of free transfers, and
Kelly and Tossan.
Yeah, that type of player, what we're crying out for on that side. If he could pull the strings and pull him with him, that would be absolutely brilliant. But again, we'll be looking around about the 50 to 60 million pound mark.
He's got a 60 million pound release clause.
Yeah, so that the way the financial fair play is working, that's a big chunk, and you know that's the
next level, isn't it? If you think about where we want to go, we've got to look at players at that level.
Yeah, I mean, Isak, what was Isak?
70, wasn't he, in the end?
Was it 68 plus 2 or something? 70 plus 70. So I think that's about our limit for top players at the minute. So that would be absolutely outstanding if because obviously we've heard a few times now, Baz, that we've been watching them and linked with them, and if this hopefully could pull them through the door, that would be brilliant. But do you know what it is? Ashworth came with so much high expectations as well, right? And obviously what he did at Brighton, it looks to the loyalty thing for me is just ridiculous on behalf of Dan Ashworth. I'm just hoping that this
over it now. I'm over him.
You know what I'm trying to say, though? It's Ashworth came with so much expectation. Have we got the right man then? Yes, we thought we had the right man. Then we're going down this guy at Palace, and everybody's going, yes, you've got the right hand man, the right man. Let's just hope we've got the right man, mate. And well,
let's face it. I mean, there's no other big clubs banging on the door for him. He's at Palace. He's done a great job there. He has a limited budget with Palace. He's coming to Newcastle, where potentially the checkbook is open because the players that he's looking like an Elise and an Eze and that Warrington, to bring them in as young players where potentially they want to bring them in at 16, 17, where they don't affect FFP. And that's what potentially his job's going to be, like Ashworth's job was going to be, getting the right men to identify the right players at the right price, at the right age.
I mean, the masterstroke for Crystal Palace for me is them players have always been there. It's getting this new manager in because he's totally changed the way.
Yeah, the manager's brilliant.
So if he's played a massive part in bringing this manager in as well, how do you know what it is? That is that's a massive coup for Palace, because I think the manager another one that's transformed a football club. But I'm not getting too excited about that for me, Baz, to be honest, because it's been a quick succession of another sporting director coming in. I trust the owners. Do you know what I mean? I trust what's going on.
It took a while to make a decision, though. They haven't just thrown money at it and went, right, we're going to take him. They've waited and interviewed a few times. So they've obviously been very careful.
It's been quiet as well, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So look, they're not daft. They've done the homework. So I trust them. But like I said, let's wait and see for that one. I hope it's right.
Me too. Mike, obviously, Palace being a rival, you must be quite happy.
Sorry, mate, I fell off. You're talking about Palace.
Have you got any good things to say about Friedman? Have you heard anything? Obviously, he has been some quality players.
Yeah, I mean, only what Steve tells me. It's
right. I'll tell you what Steve said. This is so funny, right? Because obviously we're hearing it's almost done. I messaged Steve trying to have a serious conversation with him, as you do. Where is it? Where are you? There he is, the daft git. He said, Paris will want big money for him. He's never going to the northeast. And then I put in obviously Alex Crook was the person who put it on Twitter. Now he's got like 100,000 following or something like that. So he's a big account, and he's put Friedman into the final replacement for Dan Ashworth up against a vastly experienced European candidate. And he put, mate, seriously, don't believe any of these stories. This is what he's like. I said, but you come to me and say that Isak and Bruno are leaving Newcastle because you believe the same people in these crappy stories on Twitter. And it's like, yeah, man, I thought we were going to have a sensible conversation, but you know what he's like. You can get maybe a couple of lines out of him, and then it just goes to shit.
I mean, on the face of it, the guy's done a good job at Palace. So like I say, it's a case of wait and see. I don't know too much about him. Obviously, I knew stuff about Ashworth because he was at Brighton. Yeah. But Freeman, I only know probably less than what you guys know about him, to be honest.
I don't really know much other than he brought Elise Eze and that Warrington to.
I mean, their whole recruitment's been, much to annoyance for some of their fans, has been about recruiting from low divisions. So Elise from Reading, Eze from QPR, and bringing them through for a
Warrington
cheap price.
Blackburn, wasn't he?
Or Blackburn, yeah. But they're like, so bring them in at a cheap price and then obviously getting success out of them and then flipping them on for like high fee, which is a little bit different to how we do it. A lot of their fans want to see pathways. They want because they've got a very good academy down there, and they're not seeing many of those players coming through. But listen, if that's what he does, he's very good at spotting those talents. And if he does go to Newcastle, obviously he'll be doing that for you guys.
Hope so. We'll soon see. It'll be announced soon, to be fair. Unless they wait to the end of the season to announce it because of contract under Palace and all this sort of stuff. Right, let's have a look at what Brighton could line up on Saturday. So this is how you lined up in your last game against Villa. It was a great win against Villa, a 1-0 win. Obviously, I've gone through a bit of a bad period until that game. Do you see many changes from that game?
I don't know. I think it'll be very similar. I think, to be fair, we played Villa at a very good time. They were just come on the back of playing Olympiacos, and obviously a couple of injuries in there. But they look very jaded. Not the Villa we played at Villa Park. He stuffed a 6-1. So, yeah. But no, I don't expect too many changes from that team, to be honest, if any.
I mean, I'm looking at your injury list. SBN, Matima, Ferguson, Hinshelwood, how you pronounce it? March, Lamptey, Hickey, Milner, and Lalana are all out. Yeah,
I mean, a few of those are obviously first team players, and at the beginning of the season, like Solly March was playing really well. He got injured against Man City. So a lot of those we've been out for a long time. On the plus side, we got Billy Gilmore who's come back, who started playing. Yeah, he started playing well, and obviously Pedro's back in, and then Cisso's coming off the bench. He can't play 90 yet, but he's coming off the bench. Yeah, it's just been a nightmare of injuries, just horrific. But it is what it is. That's football, and the way we play, that is probably a symptom of that system, to be honest. That high intensity football, and you've had it at Newcastle, because the way you play, the wide players tend to get muscle injuries, and that people aren't out for 1 or 2 weeks now. They're out for either 5 or 6 or the rest of the season, it seems. So yeah, it's been frustrating, but yeah, I think that is the team that will put out against you.
Yeah, I mean, your form hasn't been, we mentioned, not been great, but you beating Villa was a great win. You mentioned that one, but losing to City quite comfortably 4-0. Bournemouth 3-0 though, that was a bit of a strange one.
The thing is with Bournemouth is the coach at Bournemouth is such an back in September, I tweeted, he's such an underrated coach. He's such a good coach, and he's really kind of gone under the radar, and now Bournemouth are seeing that sort of his tactics coming into that team, because they've changed the way they played from last season, and they're just starting to reap the rewards now. The Man City game was kind of weird because we didn't play well. We were comprehensively beaten, but we had 2 penalty shouts that probably on another day would have been given, and then it could be a different game. So it's
against a non-Big Six club.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's frustrating, particularly the Pedro one where he got across the defender, and the defender just brought him down, and the referee just didn't give it, and VAR weren't gonna sort of overturn him, and it's just, I mean, I've got to say that game, that is the worst refereeing performance I've seen at the Amex this season. It was Gerard Gillett, and I don't know if you saw the game, but the Foden free kick, which was the second goal, he actually slipped over, and the referee gave a free kick just outside the area that they scored from. No one touched him. It was, and it kind of it got worse from that moment, and it was just awful. And I'm not taking anything away from City because they were better than us, but blimey, they don't need any help to beat us, and it's there you go. But they're a good side, and they're probably going to win the league, and that's how it is.
It does look like it. It does look like it.
I like one of your midfielders, mate. I like Pascal Gross, mate.
I was going to mention him. I like him as well. We've talked about him quite a few times, haven't we, Mike?
I think he's a really good player, and he's got 10 assists for you this year and scored 4 goals. And I think there's more goals than him, because I think he's been very unlucky at times where he could have scored, and I think he's a decent player, mate.
Yeah, he scored against Villa, but it was chalked out. He got players player and fans player of the season like this year. So he's loved by our fans, and he's when he leaves, it'll be the term legend's bandied about a lot, but he is absolutely a legend. He's like, I think he's assists. He's like second or third in the table of assists. So. Just an amazing servant for us. If he had pace, he'd be playing for probably Barcelona or Bayern Munich. That's his one letdown, is he hasn't really got pace, but he's got such vision. He does. You'll probably see it on the weekend. He'll do the Pascal Gross turn, which is like the Cruyff turn, which he does, and defenders always fall for it. It's like just but yeah, the guy, you're right, and you're right to point him out. He's such a good player and so important to the way we play.
I think he's no disrespect to Brighton, but I think he's still at Brighton because of his age now. I think had he been 5 years younger, you would have had Chelsea knocking on the door for him as well.
Gilmore and all, he's a lovely, tidy little footballer. So you've got a good 2 there that can make things happen, and then you've got Pedro coming through the middle that'll play off Welbeck, who's in form at the minute, who's scoring goals as well, who's had quite a good season as well. And I mean, the start of the season he was on the bench quite a bit, and he forced his way into the side by scoring goals. I think he's done all right as well. Yeah,
in all competitions, Pedro's got 20 in all competitions. I think he's only got 9 in the Premier League, but we've missed Billy Gilmore big time. He's the Pascal Gross is a playmaker. Billy Gilmore's the pivotal midfielder he does all that shifty work and turns and lays the ball off simple passes. And he's obviously we've got Belieber, who's a young player. He's just finding his feet in the Premier League, but gets better every week. So, no, you're right to point those players out. They are pivotal to us and important players to the way we play. And if we're going to get anything out of Saturday, it's going to be down to those guys, really.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to us now, there's a player that we've criticised for his crossing ability at times, and everyone says he's the best crosser at the club. But on Saturday against Burnley, he got it right. He was absolutely fantastic. 2 assists, 5 crosses, 4 dribbles, touches in the box, 5. He was on fire. And the problem is it's 1 in 5, 1 in 6 games with Murphy at times. So there's a bit of a dilemma going into this weekend, because obviously we played 4-4-2 against Burnley. I think we should revert back to 4-3-3 and go back to the tried and tested against Brighton. I think Wilson should come off from the bench if we need him. I think Barnes will be used off the bench and Gordon could switch to right wing. Murphy will start. There could be a chance for J7 to start, but I think it might be too soon for him. So I think we'll go for that 3 in midfield again. And the back 4, unless Trips is available, I can't see that changing. Would you agree, Ian, or do you think we should stick to 4-4-2?
Well, they play 4-2-3-1, so I can see why we played that away from home, because I thought we were really aggressive last week, and I felt I was shocked, mate, when I seen Wilson start, to be honest. But at home, I agree. I think we should go back to 4-3-3. And I think that team will start. I think Anderson will come back in. I do think it's going to be too soon for Joe Linton again, because last week when he came on, him and Almiron looked very, very rusty, which is only right because I haven't played for a while. Trippier, I think, will be back in the squad. And obviously we've heard that Gareth Southgate needs to see these players play before he's making his squad selection for the Euros. So I think Trippier will get minutes, and I won't be long as well, I don't think, before Nick Pope will get minutes as well along the line.
There's the other spot that I wasn't sure of. I put Dubs or Pope in goal. Who would you start with?
Do you know would have been? I think would have been the last game of the season at home. I think you should start with Dubravka, simply because he's been there when obviously Pope's been injured for a long period of time. I think it'll be a right kick in the stots, mate. If I'd done that, it was the last game of the season at home, and I got dropped, I think I would kick us right in the stones, like. And I don't think, it'll be right. And to be fair, we've just come off a great win. Yeah, I think you've got to start Dubravka. I really do.
But it's strange because we came off a great win before the Burnley game and he made changes. So it just shows you that he's not afraid to drop a player if he feels that he needs to. I
totally agree with that, but you can do that without field players when players become available. But with a goalkeeper, he's been there, and do you know what it is? He's had criticism through at him since he's come back into that. And people's praised him, and people's absolutely torn to pieces, mind Dubravka. Want him out, can't wait till Pope comes back. I just think he'll just have I think Eddie Howe will have loyal towards him, and I think he'll start Dubravka, and I think Pope will come back in for the Man United game, in the Brentford game, and I think Trippier will come back in for them 2 games as well and start.
Interesting. Mike, after seeing the Newcastle Burnley result playing 4-4-2, would you prefer to see us playing 4-4-2 again against your team, or would you prefer to see 4-3-3? Which one do you think you'd have a better chance at?
I prefer you to have no players on the pitch.
Like it.
Yeah, I think if you play a 4-4-2, that would be better for us. I think a 4-3-3, any sort of pace up front is going to cause us problems. Yeah, so 4-4-3, 4-3-3 would be the.
Oh, froze. It wouldn't be Mike if we didn't have a freeze in the stream. He's done well to get an hour. Always happens down south, doesn't it? Always down south.
Yeah, I was just about to ask him and all when he was finished. Where if we go to 4-3-3, would they change the style of play of passing out from the back, knowing how high we would like to press at home?
Well, they saw what we were like at their ground, and they absolutely thrashed us 4-1, didn't they? No, it was a 3-1. Ferguson got a hat trick playing out from the back, so I don't think it stops them.
We were absolutely pathetic that day.
We were. Some funny messages on a Brighton message board. We've got a few there. My liver is dreading Newcastle away. Doing that day sober doesn't bear thinking about. That's a good one. I was chatting to a couple of Newcastle fans in the pub recently. They were so much more enthusiastic about De Zerbi and how we play than me that it was embarrassing. I guess they haven't paid too much attention to our results over the last few months and aren't too bothered by them anyway.
I would you know, even though the results haven't been there, he's still a top manager.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's like the Eddie Howe problem when we had a blip. Everyone was saying Eddie Howe out, and look at him now. Top of my list for being the friendliest fans are Liverpool and Newcastle fans, always complimentary and helpful. On the other side of the coin, I have found, like many Man United and Tottenham fans, the most arrogant. I would put Chelsea in there, to be fair. Worst by far of experience was Man United. So many incredible arrogant fans, so many of them getting Albion fans' faces, trying to start arguments and fights. Compare that to Newcastle at home last September after we'd beaten them. Geordies came out of their way end and walked up the steps to the coach park, singing with big smiles on their faces about Europe. No negative, horrible stuff about getting beat. I walked up the steps in the middle of a bunch of them and haven't had as many handshakes, high fives and hugs from the away fans before. So it just shows you, doesn't it? I think Mike is back. Is it Mike? It's Mike.
my laptop just died, and I realised I hadn't plugged it in. It's a very, very first world problem. That
it would not be a Mike show without Mike having a mic.
Can I just say, I thought I was watching the Oxford United playoff, and I thought, what the hell is Jacob Murphy doing on the pitch?
It's his brother, isn't it?
His brother, yeah. His spitting image. That's like,
well, the twins, aren't they? The twins?
Yeah, well, they must be.
Yeah,
they look so alike.
Yeah, I'm positive they are. Or they're just brothers. I can't remember if there's an age difference or not. But they are very, very alike.
Yeah.
I was just going through some comments from a Brighton site just about how Newcastle are the friendliest fans in the Premier League alongside Liverpool fans, which is a bit of a strange one. But you all hate Man United and Tottenham if you think they're arrogant.
I would say Chelsea's probably the most.
There it is.
Yeah.
I was reading these out and I said I would have put Chelsea up there.
Yeah. I don't like if you see any of the socials. Like every time our club puts something out, there'd be at least 4 or 5 Chelsea fans on it. Going Tim.
We're getting used to that now as well. Aren't we?
It's just, and we got them like in the week, and I would take getting spanked by you if we beat them. You know, I really would. It's I think like with Man United, there's always that because you've got like the Mark Goldbridge type people who are high profile and makes a bit of an idiot of himself a lot of the time. So there's always going to be that, and we've got a lot of people in sort of around Brighton who support those sort of clubs. There is always going to be. I don't know about Tottenham's a weird one though, because I've never really had issues with Tottenham, so I don't know what.
I think you just put that arrogant. Not a friendly.
I would say Palace and Chelsea would be.
I knew Palace would come into it.
Goldbridge was on a different level last week.
Oh God, he was. He really was.
Level.
When we played Man City, apparently he walked up there. He was like, "Had enough."
Oh,
Ended the stream. He's never been to a game in his life. He's a Forest fan as well.
brilliant. On a different level. I was crying watching him come out.
But that's the thing, though. It's what gets clicks and it's what gets him fans. It gets people watching him.
Some of the stuff he said, and then it's unrepeatable.
Yeah.
What he said, and it was disgusting. And I know you got absolutely slated for a joke, Baz, right? Slated for a joke. And what came out of that man's mouth live on air?
Yeah.
Is we're getting beat. You know, he said what he said first, and he just went, I'm getting beat.
Yeah. It is ridiculous, isn't it? It is fun. Social media is brilliant. Looking back so far this season, Mike, obviously you pounded us at your place 3-1. Ferguson scored a hat-trick. You completely tore us apart that day. You obviously got the tactics spot on. Do you see the tactics being very similar when you come to St. James's Park, or do you think Newcastle will have learnt their lesson and you're going to have to play a different way?
I think we're just played a normal way because that's the way we play. I don't see much changing going on.
On the back?
Is somebody wrapping presents?
Yes, she's wrapping the missus has sold loads of the kids' shorts and she's wrapping it up. In the kitchen. She couldn't take it into the room and do it in there, you know, when it's quiet.
I knew something was going on unless somebody's getting...
Apparently I'm getting it on my head now as well. It's great. Go on, get out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm flinching now. Where were we? But yeah, so I mean, are you worried about our pace playing out from the back? Is that a good idea at St. James's Park?
I'm worried about your pace. I'm worried about your home form. I'm worried about the way we are at the moment. Yeah, we got a win against Villa, which was needed, but you know, there's not too many optimistic vibes going to Newcastle other than the Villa result, and you owe us one, and you know that's on the back of that as well. And you're still fighting for a European place, so whereas we're not. So there's a lot to be wary of when we're up there. I think if you score early, the crowd get up, and then that's it. It's game over for us. If we score, then that gives us something to hang on to, and maybe he will sort of adjust the way he plays in light of that. But it seems that De Zerbi plays one way, which is passing out from the back through the lines, and you know that's not changed this season, so I don't see it changing on Saturday.
The one thing I'm worried about, Ian, is if we don't start well, like we haven't done in a lot of the games, Brighton will have the quality to punish us, and then there might be no way back after 20 minutes.
I think we're playing Brighton at the right time, especially at home.
I agree with that. But we've got to play from the first whistle, not turn up after 20 minutes.
I think we'll be right at it. And it's a Saturday kickoff. It's going to be warm, mate, and that makes them, honestly, this is daft, this.
Tell me about it.
It makes a massive difference, right? The atmosphere inside St. James's Park on Saturday will be fine.
Party atmosphere.
It will be. Last game of the season. I think I was confident on Saturday, and I'm confident again. I think we'll get the win on Saturday.
I think it might mirror the game last season, to be honest.
Well, last season was tighter than the scoreline, though, wasn't it? I mean, it was 2-1 just in injury time in the first half, wasn't it? And we went into the second half.
It should have been a lot more comfortable than that from your point of view, to be honest.
A lot of chances first half.
Yeah. I can see it. It's the last game of the home game of the season. I can see your crowd being up for it, and I think we're just not in that great form at the moment, and I just think it will mirror last season's game.
We hope so. I mean, we're scoring for fun at the moment, but we can't keep a clean sheet, which is what I'm worried about. You know, and you have the quality to score and punish us where Sheffield United couldn't.
You say that we scored 2 goals in 5 weeks, and one of them was an own goal from the Burnley keeper. So it's like,
we hope it continues.
Yeah, we're creating there's a bit of. our players seem to have lost a bit of confidence, and there's a lot of overplaying around the area rather than just taking a shot. And that's why I said to you about Enciso coming off the bench. He's a bit more direct, and he will have a shot, as you've seen last season against Man City. So that helped. Certainly did help against Villa when he came off. We got more direct. Adingra started running at the fullbacks, and we got a penalty, and then won the game. So that side of it. But if we carry on like we have been, which is just ticky-tacky football around the box, it's not going to cause you any problems at all.
This is what I said. That's what I said to Baz before. If you play that ticky-tacky football, if we're right at it, our front three press, it's going to be difficult for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And De Zerbi likes playing with two wingers. At the moment, we've just got one real out-and-out winger. And, a lot's going to be on Adingra. And if you keep him out of the game, that's kind of like our outlet nullified a bit in that first half. So I'm not saying we're not going to create chances, because we probably will. But what I'm saying is the odds are stacked against us. And, that's kind of how I feel with this game.
Very interesting.
Another reason as well, I think we'll get on top. I think Bruno, he loves playing at home. The last home game of the season, and his form he's in at the minute as well. I just think it's going to take some player to stop him through that middle of the park as well. I think Gilmore's got a massive job. Even though he's a tiny footballer, he's got a massive job on his hands stopping this fella at the minute.
You know what? I love Bruno, but I really love Longstaff. I think he's so underrated as a player. He's so key in those sort of final third movements. And he's a player that I would... Bruno's, yes, he's a name. I know you all love him, and he's great, and you've got Gordon and that, but I think Longstaff does a lot of work that doesn't kind of get recognised by other fan bases, and I think he's a real sort of danger in that midfield, in that could cause us a few problems as well. Coming through the through balls off the defender in front of Duncan, Webster, who are going to be there.
Yeah.
So he would be like the one player that I would be sort of wary of in that midfield.
On the attacking, like we've said this on the show, on an attacking where Longstaff plays, he does find himself getting to them, specifically on that right hand side where he makes them late runs to get inside. What alarms me with Longstaff's players when it breaks down, and when we're going the other way, the gaps in between Bruno and our defence becomes huge, simply because them players like to get beyond the ball. And that frustrates me at times. Like I've said to Baz on shows before, how many times you see Sean Longstaff make a tackle in his own 18-yard box or around them 18-yard box? You very, very rarely see it. So that side of his game frustrates me. He does get around the pitch. He does do a lot of miles, as the stats say, and he does find them areas on an attacking threat. But I just think he can improve so much on the other side. What lets him down, I think, at times, which frustrates me.
Yeah, I mean, you would see him more than I do, so you would know that side of his game better than I do. But as an attacking threat, I can see that, especially on that right side, we're a bit limited to what we got on that side. We've got Joel Veltman and not much else. So with Hinshelwood being out, who was like our first choice right back, and Webster's sort of just come back in the team, so that side of it is a little bit vulnerable. And that's where I think you might find pockets of spaces on Saturday.
I like Longstaff. I've always said he's underrated sometimes, but his finishing has been poor this season. I think that's what's let him down the most. He's got into great areas, like you say, in the final third. He gets into those little pockets, and then he panics, or he tries to win a penalty when he shouldn't be going down. It's just like, what are you doing, mate? Stop it.
But the thing is, though, Baz, we've been so critical of how we've conceded goals this season. You don't just point your finger at the back four here. You've got to point the finger. That's what's playing in front of you. Now, last season, when you had Willock, you had obviously Longstaff played a part there. Joe Linton, Bruno, you had that core of players that wanted to work that way. Joe Linton was pivotal for us this season, dropping in, tidying things up. Bruno comes in there and does the work, you know. So and Willock comes in there. So that's the side where frustrates me with Longstaff. It really does.
Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, he's one of the reasons why the high press is so good, though, because he's very intelligent. Apparently, he knows when to go and when not to go. Everyone follows him, but
there's only so many times you can go forward that way. Punish that way. You've got to have that balance where you've got to get things right at both ends, and sometimes we find ourselves beyond the ball far too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we've highlighted it a few times, haven't we, down the right-hand side when 4 players were on the ball and then suddenly there's a big hole behind us and one pass takes out 3-4 players. It was crazy at times. Very quickly, I believe it's Gary V's birthday today, so happy birthday to Gary, who was in the chat. Didn't realise it was your birthday, mate, so happy birthday. Thanks for watching, as always. Should be out getting pissed. No, it's a Thursday night. It's not a Friday night, is it? So we'll let him off. Right, here's the table. So like I say, it's very weird seeing Brighton in 11th because normally you are in around about the 6th, 7th, 8th position at this time of the season, fighting for a European spot. The great thing for us, and I've said it and I'll say it again, Burnley have got a massive game this weekend against Spurs and they could upset them. They get more of their points away from home. They're playing Spurs at their ground. If they can get a point, we can beat Brighton. That 5th spot is ours.
Well, your belief has proven me wrong because we said a couple of shows ago you're going, we're closing in, and Harry was on there when he was on the show, and Harry went, I think you'll get us, and I went, I don't think we will, you know, and we're just closing in on them. So do you know what it is, Baz? I'm going to back you. Like the momentum what we've got and the other teams, what's happening, I think we could get it. I hope I haven't jinxed you, mate.
You probably have now. The one thing that gives me a lot of hope as well is our goal difference. You know, we can now afford to win 2, draw 1, and still finish 6.
Chelsea's our threat now, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but if we win 2 and draw 1, Chelsea can't catch us because our goal difference is far superior to theirs. They're not going to win 3 games 4-0, 4-0, 4-0.
No.
Well, actually, no, they'll have to win 5-0, 5-0, 4-0, and hope we only win 1-0, 1-0, 0-0 for them to actually overtake us.
I'm positive for Saturday, but I'm petrified of Wednesday.
You hate the Old Trafford thing, don't you?
I'm petrified of it.
After the way they got absolutely pounded off Palace, honestly, I'm not worried about Man United. This is probably the first season ever I am not worried about going to Old Trafford.
To be fair to Man United, they were playing Casemiro and Johnny Evans as centre-halves.
Yeah, but they were terrible the week before as well, though, even when they had defended.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Palace are in form. I'm not taking anything away from Palace because they're playing fabulously at the moment. But when you've got Evans and Casemiro up against Eze and Elise and Mateta who's in form, that's just a non-match. It's but if you talk to any of their fans, Man United have just been so inconsistent this season. So with you, it depends what Man United team turn up. If they get any of their players back, then potentially they can cause you problems. But Ten Hag seems finished there, doesn't he? Let's face it.
I just think Man United, because they're playing us, I think they'll up the game 50% what they played against Palace, just because it's us, and that's why I'm petrified of it.
I'm really not, and that's probably a horrible thing to do and get overconfident. But there you go.
On your Tottenham thing, if you've watched Tottenham the last 2 games, they have been absolutely dire. Their defending is awful. It's against Liverpool. They offered absolutely nothing until Liverpool were 4-0 up, and then they started playing a bit. But Liverpool had taken their foot off the gas, made 3 substitutions. So you could see Tottenham could lose every game apart from the last game of the season where they play Sheffield United. And I don't think anyone loses to Sheffield United, to be fair. Even Tottenham.
Man United couldn't even beat Burnley at home.
No, I agree with you about Man United. I'm saying Tottenham.
Yeah, so Tottenham side of things is, they've got to beat Burnley at home, and Burnley have got a very good away record for a team that bottom three.
Those bottom teams need points, don't they? Burnley, if Burnley don't get points, they're gone. That's it. So it's a be all and end all for them.
So what do you think then? Do you think, obviously, you think Newcastle are going to win at the weekend? Obviously, you don't want it to happen, but you're not going to back against your own team. I know that, but the chances are Newcastle win at the weekend. Do we go to Old Trafford and win? And can we get that fifth place?
I think I don't know whether you'll get fifth, but you definitely will beat us, and you will beat Man United, because Man United now, I think, is going to be all about the cup final. I think that's
got to be in the back of their mind, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's against Man City, and as you know, in those derbies, anything can happen. So I think that's their players are going to be on that, and
haven't they got Arsenal as well, Man United soon?
Well, they got what?
Arsenal. Yeah,
they got Arsenal in. They got Arsenal, and they got us as well last game.
I mean, that's a tough running.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think they'll finish possibly like where they are, and I think
that's out of Europe.
Yeah, I think they'll be out of Europe, and I think they'll lose the cup final, and I think he'll be gone.
Sixth place is definitely in our own hands. I think you're right, but then Potter's obviously, I think, sniffing around for that job, to be honest.
Yeah, he just turned down Ajax, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, again, he's got a young family, hasn't he? He probably doesn't want to uproot them to Holland potentially.
But with Ashworth going to Man United, you've got to think that he's going to be up there in the recruitment, because Ashworth really likes him. He was the main reason why Potter came to Brighton. So I would be surprised if he wasn't linked with that job or very high on their list. I don't think it's beyond you to win like your remaining games. I think
Brentford away, last game of the season, is a tough one, but I think they'll be on the beach.
Yeah, I think we'll win that.
Yeah, and if you've got something to play for in that last game as well, that will give you the motivation to do that.
Yeah.
But it's Tottenham. I just can't see Tottenham losing the last game to Sheffield United because they are so poor. But I can see them losing every other game. It's Man City, haven't they?
I think if we went to Brentford, the fourth game of the season in, that'd be a different Brentford going there. But I think
absolutely they're safe now.
I think we'd beat Brentford.
They're safe now. No, nothing to play for, have they?
Yeah, no. Like I say, I'm petrified of Wednesday. Get over the line with any result, and then I'll be happy.
I think you'll be all right.
I love it. I'm going to let you be defeatist on that one because I'm just too overconfident. I really am. But it is tight. Don't get me wrong. Chelsea is still breathing down our necks. It only takes us to slip up once, and then it's out of our hands again. So
is it actually Chelsea or is it Cole Palmer FC?
Cole Palmer FC, I think he's been.
It's Cole Palmer's just phenomenal, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dragging them through games at times. He really is, which is a shame because I don't know. I didn't see the fuss about him until he went to Chelsea.
Yeah,
and then he started scoring. But the reason why I'm not worried about Chelsea in a way is their attitude. You saw the way when they got that penalty and Cole Palmer went to take it and then they were trying to take it off him. There seems to be a bit of a divide in that team for me, culture-wise. They don't seem to be a unit. And I think it just takes one mistake again and Chelsea are back in a bit of a spiral again. So I'm not too worried about them. I'm sure they've got some tough-ish fixtures. I mean, they've got Bournemouth. Who else have they got? They're not massively tough fixtures, but they are in a way. If they don't,
what are you trying to say?
It's a tough fixture, but you're not in great form. You've got Forest on Saturday away, which can be a tough place to go to. Obviously, you lot is a very tough place to go to. You're on it.
The atmosphere for that game will be probably the best atmosphere of the season because we hate them. We absolutely hate them.
So you could do us a favour by getting spanked on Saturday and then coming out with a great win on Wednesday.
Yeah, we could, yeah.
That'll be the perfect scenario.
Like you, I don't see us losing to Man United either. It's just, I just don't see it. I think they're going to be so on the cup final when they play us. It's like,
yeah, and I think they'll rest players to make sure they're fit for the cup final. I think Ten Hag knows he has to win that cup final.
Absolutely, he's got to win the trophy, hasn't he?
Which is weird, isn't it? Because I hate it when they say that, oh, you've got to win a trophy or is he going to get sacked? It's not the right. But the season he's had, terrible. Palmer is a quality favourite, no United player. Palmer is quality, my favourite non-United player. Sorry, I've read that wrong. Robbie's a Man United fan, so Robbie, you know what we're like on here. We'll say it how it is. You're shite, mate. And that'll bite me in the ass. I know it will. Right, let's go to your predictions. Mike, what are you going for? Score prediction?
Heart says 1-0. Head says we're going to get trounced, to be honest. Heart says 1-0. Head says 3-0 to Newcastle.
Oh, a clean sheet. We don't see them very often. Ian, what about you?
I always go home 3-1.
Yeah, I'm actually confident 3-1 as well. I mean, normally when we do play Brighton, I am normally worried because I know how good they are. But
very surprised with clean sheet. That's the thing.
Yes, I don't think we keep clean sheets.
So I think we'll have to, again, the way I said again on Saturday, the way our forwards are playing at the minute, I just think there'll be a little bit too much for Brighton. Isak, Gordon. Then we've got threats. And if we do revert back to our three, the bench that will come off, you've got Harvey Barnes, that'll come off the bench, that'll make a massive impact like he does. And obviously Callum Wilson, there's goals there. I just think
Callum Wilson always scores against us.
Yes.
Bloody nightmare.
He does that, especially at home. Again, for me, it's all about the formation. It depends on how we approach the game. I'd rather not see two strikers on the pitch because the way you play in midfield with your two pivotal and free, we've got to be able to fight and win that midfield battle. I don't think we do if Isak and Wilson start. So it has to be back to 4-3-3 for me. If I see 4-3-3 and Wilson on the bench with Barnes and Joe Linton and Miggy, I'm confident. If I see 4-4-2, I'm going to be like, this is going to be a rough first 20 minutes again. I don't know how the game's going to go, but I just fancy us to switch it back up again and hopefully win 3-1. It won't be comfortable, but it'll be comfortable enough.
Yeah,
hopefully. If they start with the two forwards, what will happen is with them two midfielders, Isak will drop deep, and then you'll not get the best of Isak because it'll be so deep, trying to nullify them two holding midfielders. Where if you've got the three in there, you've got Bruno, obviously Longstaff, and Anderson. I just think it'll be too much. And then our front three will take care of themselves. I really do. Yeah.
Pace. That's what we need. Pace. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yes, Barcode Banter is on tonight at 12:30 in the morning for any night owls, people on night shift or anything like that. But if you're in America, it's perfect timing for you guys. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I don't know, wherever you are, depending on where you are in America. It's incredible, the time difference all the time. Villa are losing 2-0, so they're out of Europe. And that fifth spot is definitely going to Germany. No way it's coming to England now.
Who's the driver?
Oh, it was Isak.
Of course it was Isak.
Yeah, it was Isak. It was always Isak. I don't know why anyone was thinking it wasn't him. When you saw him with his hands going to lift the helmet up, that's Isak. You can tell by his frame.
What's it about?
So it's an advert. It's a partnership with Saudi Airlines and this Formula One stuff. I don't really know the full ins and outs of it. But he literally takes his helmet off. And I think it's Anderson turns to him and says, "You didn't fancy the bus then?" He went, "No, I found something faster." So it's about him going missing for 2 days, going over to Saudi Arabia, then flying back in just in time for the match to be in the changing room to get changed and go on the pitch. It's just an advert. Basically, that's it, where Newcastle are involved in. But it could open up doors for other stuff in the future, though, potentially.
Combined sponsorship?
Could be in the future. It's all about Formula E. So there's lots of potential that could be happening.
Combined sponsorship.
We'll see. Saudi Airlines, Formula E. I think Saudi Airlines will eventually be a sponsor, and it could.
Lola.
So much could happen.
They don't do this for no reason, by the way.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Before we go, though, guys, if you have enjoyed the show, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat. It's not a lot of money, but it really helps to keep the channel going. There'll be a $40 gift card to give away this month. But if you want to buy something from Diet Codes, 20% off. Amazing little American-run company. We've had Joseph on a few times, who owns the company. He's brilliant. And Football Prizes have done it again. Another amazing, unique, one-of-a-kind signed shirts, Trippier and Shaw, both in the same frame. Tickets are $3.95. There's loads of other prizes you can win as well. Link is in the description, so consider buying a few tickets if you can afford to. You've got more chance of winning this than you have of winning the lottery, and they're great prizes, to be fair. I want the Tonali one. But anyway, Mike, thank you so much for coming on. Sorry we've kept you so long.
Okay, anyways.
It's always a pleasure. Ian as well, as always, mate. And we'll be talking about a charity football match to arrange now by the sounds of things. I love it. But don't forget, Barcode Banter 12:30. Tomorrow I might be live again. I don't know yet. It depends if I can put it all together in time. But if not, Mauro is going to be doing the watch along because I am at the match. Yes. So I'll be in Shearer's bar. So if you want to come and say hi or come and call me a dickhead or whatever you want, I'll be in the bar having a drink. So take care till then, everyone.